Hey everyone, hope they're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis, updated commodities, work our way through the dollar yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. I'll interject my financial opinions as we go through it. And if you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com. That's where I dive deeper into all these topics and subjects, looking for potential investment opportunities and sharing them with everybody in the community. I answer your questions on the weekends. We have the question and answer sessions on either Saturday or Sunday. And I give midweek updates, which I just recently released to the website. We do have a special going on. Special is the coupon code, and you can use that on both the monthly and the yearly membership if you'd like to sign up. And you can always swap from the monthly to the yearly if you like further savings. All right, guys, let's dive in, take a look, see what's going on today. The DXY, we got this nice little kind of upward facing wedge pattern going on. We also have that counteracting with a little bit of upward movement in the DXY today. You could also draw these things. So as these patterns develop, you can rotate and shift these things in different directions as well. You can change them and move them where perhaps it goes from a bearish pattern to a bullish pattern. There's a couple of things that I see here that could be bullish depending on how you look at it. You've got a longer term trend going down. We've got a stronger, I'll say, very short term bullish move here. I'd say about a month, a little less than a month ago. And we've got a flag pattern that could be developing here. And perhaps we break to the upside with the dollar getting stronger. Now, I know Besant wants a weaker dollar. I know Trump wants a weaker dollar. It doesn't mean just because they want something that they can get it. The Federal Reserve doesn't look like they're going to lower interest rates, at least in the short term. And that could have an impact on the dollar here. So that's something to watch, and we'll see if we get a move higher here. The 2-year yield holding steady in a bullish formation. This is a short-term bull flag that could potentially head a little bit higher. We've got the 10-year in still a bullish formation. Big buying pressure, smaller selling pressure, broken out into a flag pattern. That screams that it wants to go higher in the short term. And that is sitting on top of support of all of that. And that is just more or less a big flag pattern to move on up, perhaps. The 30-year yield doing the same thing as the 10-year yield, just flagging out right now, ready to move higher at some point in the future, sitting on top of patterns. So higher yields, potentially higher dollar, could be in the cards. If Powell decides not to lower rates, which it seems like that is what he's favoring, we could continue to see a stronger dollar than what we might have seen if he had lower rates. TLT bond prices moving slightly higher today on the long end, but we've got a gaggle of resistance, which is the cross section of a billion lines up here, that we would have to get through if it does try to break up to that level and try to break through all that. But right now, momentum is down, and it's trying to reverse it in the very short term. US 2-year and 10-year. Now, a lot of people are banking that this is going to fall like a rock and we get a recession, and it very well could. Right now, what I'm seeing in the short term is strength, not weakness, at least not yet. And it looks like the curve wants to invert again. How? Maybe they're back there printing a bunch of money, and maybe we've got problems with our debt, which is distorting the way that this looks. And maybe the 2-year, where they are releasing copious amounts of debt, could bring this up and invert the curve. It's hard to say, but there's a gaggle of green in here and very small red candlesticks, which generally poses a potential bottoming pattern. And we are sitting in a flag pattern that could maybe head higher. So, and I know people are going to say, well, why are you saying maybe? Why are you saying this? Because short-term technical analysis is, slightly above 50% accurate. If you're only above 50%, that means you're going to be wrong a lot of the times too. But right now, That's what I see in the charts, and it looks like it's trying to work its way on up, and we'll see if it is successful in doing so. Maybe even like a shoulder head shoulder going on. We've got TYX TNX ratio holding steady, not much movement from a very low point. When this uninverts, generally gold goes ballistic. We've got gold down $42 an ounce. We are up towards this kind of, I'll say, top or peak. I know some people have been flipping their gold price targets around. Sometimes they had them down here, but no, we're going to 3,700 now. Never mind. Don't worry about that target. As the short-term technical trader onlys are flipping their targets around. What I would do is I would just stay long in gold, but I don't know if I'd be putting on new positions up here. Usually, when you get extended and you extend this amount of up that fast, a lot of the times you do get a pullback. Now, if we're in some sort of weird hyperinflation, well, then this could easily continue to go up. So, and we could be in some high rate of inflation, or maybe it goes into hyper. I don't know. But I'd be holding on to my gold holdings and just enjoying the ride, is what I'll say. Silver down 2.5%. Now, I still don't like being next to these big candlesticks. I really don't. We got a bearish engulfing today. That signals that we could go lower in the short term for silver. That's what it's signaling with the bearish engulfing that showed up today. We are still underneath this resistance trend line, which means we could. I mean, we could do a double bottom and get back to the 2850 range. That's possible. We'll see what the follow through looks like. Platinum down 1.35%. That doesn't look too bad. And we're still squeezing into this corner here. We've got palladium down $12 an ounce, probably doing a retest or something back here. But that still looks bullish to go higher. I don't see a huge reversal there. I'd say silver looks to be the weakest in the very short term of the metals, and gold. Gold looks a little bit weak. Sometimes they call it dark cloud cover, bearish piercing. There's a whole bunch of different names that they have for this, which could be a little bit of a reversal candlestick right at support. But again, guys, when you get big trends with this much momentum, don't take the single candlesticks with, it's not like the end all be all term. It's a shorter term movement in a longer term big momentum move. XAU to gold ratio is up 0.62% with the gold and silver mining companies outperforming gold itself. And again, nothing's changed here. We're still at a very cheap location with a long runway where gold and silver mining companies could outperform gold. GDX is down slightly, down 1.87%, but that still looks fantastic to move higher. And I'm going to leave that there. GDXJ, again, that looks fantastic to move higher. And then SILJ, again, these are like bloody noses, and that looks fantastic to move higher. It's just a small down profit-taking candlestick today. Crude oil down 1.71. We were partying yesterday with the big candlestick going on there. We could get a little bit more jiggy with it in the short term. Perhaps we are putting in a shoulder, head, and shoulder. Maybe it's not completed. Maybe it comes in that circle and dives back down to there. We'll see. But maybe it's a inverted head, shoulder, which is a bottoming pattern. And we'll see if we can do double bottom things here where we could potentially head higher in oil. But it looks good to try, and we'll see if there's any follow through there. We've got TTF gas down slightly, but again, still looks good to go higher with this small down candlestick today. Just a bloody nose is what I like to call them. Natural gas moving on up in America, 4.75%-ish. We're still underneath resistance, the blue trend line there, and we want to pop through that. We've got a deficit out in the future here that we're going to need to drill here. We're going to need to drill here coming up, and apparently $3.62 is too cheap. Boy, XOP, yeah, you know me, holding on. It's just holding on, moving sideways. Small candlesticks, tight, buyers equal sellers type of thing. And again, we can move this around, we can manipulate, we can do things. If we were to break through that area there, perhaps we could get a bullish picture here if we can break higher. And again, we haven't done that yet, but let's wait and see if we can get some buying pressure to pop out of here. OIH down 0.84%. Can also do a little bit of moving here. Oh crap, grab the wrong one. Maybe we're still consolidating here, moving sideways, much like XOP. But we did enter this from the top side down. This is your tariff information. This was your 90-day delay, and we'll see whatever they release next to get us to move either higher or lower. And this has been very headline-driven market here. Newcastle Coal Futures continuing higher, looking good, up 0.33%. Like this little momentum getting generated off support there. Sprott Physical Uranium Trust up 2.14%, feeling jiggy with it, baby, looking good. Big green candlestick yesterday, get some follow through today. This was your squeezing down here, your big bullish engulfing, your squeeze up, which could be occurring in XOP and OIH and some of that. And we're moving on up, and we'll see if the oil and nat gas boys follow uranium. Maybe uranium's turning out to be a potential leader. Uranium futures price, I still got the arrow going up. That looks pretty good. And move this arrow over a little bit. That is, what kind of arrow is that? Here, let's put a cool arrow in there real quick. If I can find where the arrows are, I don't use the arrows all that often. It's probably in this one. There it is. Got an arrow going up. There we go. There's the arrow. It's now going up. URA up 1.44%. So the equities are getting a little bit of buying pressure, looking good there. We've got URANIM also moving on up 2.57%. URNJ 2.5%, breaking through that resistance line, looking good. There's a possibility that we do a retest where we break on out like we have, retest back, and then move on up. It doesn't mean you have to do that, but a lot of the times it likes doing that. Looking at nickel a little bit higher, 0.3%. It's holding on. It's trying to put in a bottom, and we'll see if it's successful. Copper getting kicked in the nuts today, down 3.3%. God, I hate these candlesticks, guys. Ugh. These here, this here, this here. That's a lot of selling pressure, guys. That's a lot of selling pressure, and I don't see the buyers stepping in here. There's a possibility that we could get jiggy with it to the downside. I'm going to leave that there, this downside move or arrow. I don't like seeing these big reds. COPX down 2.22. That is also chopping sideways in this general area. It doesn't look bad yet. Doesn't mean it can't if copper continues lower. Lithium down 1.45, still looks good. I'm going to leave the upward candlestick. REMX also tracking sideways, down 0.3%. That looks good to go higher. I don't see the big reds. I don't see us killing it to the downside yet. Doesn't mean we can't. Just saying yet. Iron ore down 0.4, still squeezing like a beast in the squeeze zone. We've got aluminum down 2%. I think that's probably fallen out of its, yeah, there's the down arrow. There we go. So this is a inverted flag pattern with a bunch of red candlesticks there. So that does look like we could potentially head lower. Looks like we need another 90-day delay on tariffs here soon to save all this. Baltic Dry Index down 1%. That still looks good. So you've got the big move up, the flag pattern or squeezing of the falling wedge, and then we do these flag patterns. So that still looks good to go higher. We've got emerging markets down 1.15%. It's not a reversal candlestick, but it is getting some gaps and bouncing all around up here. Longer term, it still looks really good. This was a very dramatic move in the dollar and interest rates to bring us back down. But if that unwinds, we will continue higher. And I think Powell knows that if he unwinds, the interest rates and gets a lower dollar, that these things are going to go unleashed to the upside. Moving sideways right at resistance. We're just underneath it. Not a lot of selling pressure. Small little guys. It's knocking on the door of resistance and it's trying to break through. ARE moving sideways. Still looks good to go higher. We've got XHB moving sideways. Still looks good to go higher. I like whoever put this in there. Smart guy. Smart guy. Russell 2000 up, or yeah, it's up 0.33. Still looks good. SPX up 0.43, still looks good. They're just small little candlesticks kind of consolidating sideways. NASDAQ doing something very similar. That arrow is still valid. SMCI down slightly, but it's sitting on top of this structure, the three hump consolidation structure that's broken out, and that looks good to go higher. We've got NVIDIA up 3.1%. It's trying to work its way. Not much selling pressure in that circle there. So higher, higher, higher is where I am thinking. Bitcoin up 1.83. Looks good to go higher. We've got Ethereum down slightly, but looks good to go higher. It's just a consolidation sideways with not the sellers are not winning here at this time. MicroStrategy's up 1.78. That looks good. Higher, higher, higher at this time. The VIX is down 5%, which means we saw a little bit of upside movement in the S&P, and volatility's relaxing a little bit. So that's what we've got for today, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website. Use that special coupon code if you'd like to. We've got a question and answer session coming up on Saturday at 7 a.m. Mountain Time. So that's all we've got for today. We'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.